So when you look online about sort of news articles relating to this kind of stuff used to keep me so stuck in the past, because what used to happen was I used to become so scared of being stuck when reading these medical OCD articles. So what were they like? We all know them. They're things like, 20% of people recover because of medication, this medication, that, then 30% in the studies don't, and 40% this, and just all these random percentages relating to different meds and relating to being stuck and relating to all this stuff. And I just posted one because it's so bloody obvious why someone's stuck, and crazy that we're in 2022, and in those articles, which there are so many, that people look at and think, here's the evidence that this is the reason why people aren't getting better. And it's missing the most important thing. We can get rid of all the scientific language, all the percentages, all the in-depth medication and how the brain works stuff and all the different things to do with that, and everything that's making it complex. We don't need to know about every single different medication in relation to a percentage. That kind of evidence is so confusing and so random, for the fact that somebody could there's so much placebo effect, and there's so much, well, bear in mind, let's hold on here a second. Meds really can help take the edge off. But when reading these studies, the way they do it is like, X number of people took this medication and they noticed this amount of relief. That's so random. The person could have felt their OCD had gone down that moment because they were feeling they were in good hands. So they suddenly felt better that moment, which would skew the results. And all the results change all the time. And it's just so random. And so then the thing is that they say is, when you look through all of this and then you go to the facts that we actually want to know about, what was the person scared of? A particular article I was reading said the person was scared of locking the door. Well, why don't we look at why they're scared of locking the door? They're scared that something bad will happen. What's that thing? Change their perspective on that. Get them to see it's not as scary. That will release. Okay? Then all the meds, all the things that are all at play there isn't as relevant as that. That is it. Change that, they haven't got a problem. You could bet everything that even if they weren't on meds at all and they'd change that perspective, they would be back on their feet. It's so bloody obvious, but today it's so misunderstood. For the last decade, I've been highlighting this, and you just can find those articles all day long. It's like, I can't understand. I can understand that people don't understand how to change someone's perception of that feared thing. But what I find hard to understand is it's pretty obvious that the person's scared of that thing. So wouldn't that be the elephant in the room that you want to go to? Not all the other bits of information, like this person's a particularly difficult case because they've been stuck for 10 years. Then they tried 3 different types of medication, had a bad reactions, didn't work so well, had some relief for 6 months from one. And then they now we've decided that they're probably treatment resistant. No, they're not treatment resistant. That's absolute nonsense. The problem is the same problem OCD's latched more to, just because of how it can do that throughout our lives. And they're still as scared as they ever were of that thing, or it's morphed to a thing, made it feel more real and more scary. And so now they're like, oh my God, I'm never going to get better. Of course it presents that way if you look at them in front and see how they're feeling. But the thing that they're scared of is so obvious. And I just can't believe that that's the case. And I have to highlight that so much because how many people do you think are stuck with OCD, feeling hopeless because of that? Absolutely tons. Forums are full of them. People thinking, I'm treatment resistant. This is never going to change. I've been stuck for so many years. I've got to say this with a bit of passion here and sort of really to show the point, because it's so crazy that is still being done.